so you hear just my voice. Here we go. And away we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Saturday morning, and that means that it's actually me live here on Twitch. And that's right, it's CafeBTW, a gaming morning podcast, episode 108. That's right, 108. And our topic today and title is Unveiling the Magic, Exploring the History and Excitement of Midnight Releases. That's right. We are actually going to figure out a way to talk about midnight releases on a show. This might be a shorter show. We don't have a guest today. It's just me, and I decided to take a little bit of a dive. And hey, Bo-Katow, thank you for joining. And I want to say that this is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a little bit more casual, loose. Hope that whoever's here happens to be here for the live could join in the conversation of midnight releases and a little bit about that nostalgia of them and whether they still exist or will still exist as we move forward. I want to say thank you to everyone on VOD as well. If you want to join the conversation, all you have to do is comment below on the YouTube channel. We have all of our episodes of CafeBTW available on my YouTube channel, which I see Nightbot has shared right in the chat. So if you're interested in watching some post episodes, but if you happen to be here when I go live, it's a real treat to be part of the conversation because the way the CafeBTW podcast works, I really, really encourage people to join the conversation live and chat with me. You are the guests. You are part of the cafe. You are joining me with your coffee, your tea, your water, whatever works for you. But really, it's been an interesting year. Obviously, want to mention that, yes, we're at our 108th episode of this show. I haven't been able to be here every Saturday, but, I always like to say that now you could count on me to be here at least 2 Saturdays in a month. Do I have them exactly scheduled? Not really, but that's how the show is going to go on going forward. I have a lot of life things going on, but we do have a few guests in the pipeline coming up in the next few months that I'm really excited about. So stay tuned. Obviously, if you like my content, you can check out all my stuff on my socials below. A lot of the stuff that you see from me happens on Twitter. I did want to recommend that if you haven't been a part of the retro gaming community that we run on Twitter, on my Twitter at the top, there's a pinned tweet, and it's a place where you could join our retro gaming community on Twitter. So if you want to go into a community where the focus is only about retro games and you could feel safe about sharing your pickups, a place you could talk and debate about games, we have this community. Now, we gave away Sega Rally Championship for the Sega Saturn last month, and it is June. This June, we are doing our next giveaway. We're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to be giving away a retro gaming magazine, and we put up a vote at the top of the retro gaming community. Would you like Nintendo Power as a giveaway, Electronic Gaming Monthly, a Game Pro magazine, or a Game Fan? Obviously, Nintendo Power is winning the vote. I think there's still about 5 days left on this before we kick off the giveaway. I'm not sure what issue of each of these will be given away, but it looks like EGM is slowly climbing up the ladder there. But if you want to be a part of the community, we do giveaways every month. And all you have to do to join the giveaway is be in the community and simply comment a question I ask to enter the giveaway. There's no retweeting and doing like 8 million steps in order to get something. I really just want to make it as low bar as possible so you could be a part of it. So just wanted to mention, definitely check that out. And obviously, if you like just daily retro content, my Twitter is there for you to unlock nostalgia. Now, we did mention this on the last show. I put in a record for Twin Galaxy. Now, I did a complete run of Teensy Surf Design Wood and Water Rage, what they call a max out score, which is the only way they measure any type of scoring on Twin Galaxy for Teensy Surf Design. I am in the running right now. This is my post where you see I put a video up which shows the complete run. So it's a no pausing, no stopping run on Wood and Water Rage where I max the score out at 999,999. Right now, it's still in the vote process. It seems from the comments I'm doing okay. You could see here, I'll back up a little bit, that this is the leaderboard. These are the people that have successfully, gotten a max out score in Twin Galaxies. And as you can see, in process is me right here, Love Retro BTW. So hopefully I get enough votes. The way it works in Twin Galaxy, it's blind voting. So I don't know exactly how many people have voted that this is legit versus it not being legit. So something to keep in mind, that I'm really trying to get some sort of record, and this would be like a huge accomplishment for me. So if you happen to be on Twin Galaxies and you want to shoot me a vote, I'll post this in chat right now so you could drop in a vote for me. That would mean everything as I try to lock in a record in TNC Surf Design, as it is one of my favorite games. One of the only games I could tell you I could break a record in. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. The vote's been up since April, so it goes to show you how long it takes to get this locked in. So hopefully I become forever cemented on this leaderboard, on the I guess Mount Rushmore of TNC Surf Design players. Anyway, moving on. Do want to mention, like I did before, if you want to check out the YouTube, you could check out the YouTube at CafeBTW. At the very top, you have all the post episodes of CafeBTW Morning Gaming Podcast. But one thing I wanted to talk about today is what I'm trying to do is a little bit more of long-form docu-style content. Now, I worked in reality TV as a reality TV producer for nearly 10 years. I'm no longer working in reality TV, but what we used to do is travel, shoot a lot of docu-style stuff, and I really enjoyed doing that in the retro world. So I have 2 videos up. If you look on the YouTube, we have adventures, and there's the one that I did, which is about a 22-minute video of my experience at the Retro Gaming Expo here in SoCal. So if you're interested in that, check it out. But what I wanted to talk about is recently, last weekend, I went to a wedding in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, keep in mind, I live all the way in California. So we went to a wedding in Boston. I didn't have much time, but I went on Reddit and I'm like, what is a retro store I should check out if I don't have much time, but I really need to go see it? And there's a store called Sudden Impact in Winthrop, Massachusetts, which is literally like 15 minutes outside downtown Boston. And they told me go there and check it out. Now, what I thought I'd do is I posted this video. It's a 6-minute docu-style video interviewing the owner, Dominic Cirilli, who's an incredible Bostonian character, really great guy. And I'll let the video do the talking, but I thought, since this video was just posted last week, that we could watch it on stream together and I could share it with you on my podcast. So we're going to play this, let it roll, and Dominic's going to tell you a little bit about this retro store, and just wanted to share also a little bit of my docu-style content, the way I like to produce videos. I love documentary filmmaking. It's a dream of mine. So we're going to be doing more long-form content on my YouTube, including visiting retro shops. Hey, Manny, what's up? So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this video about exploring Sudden Impact in Winthrop, Massachusetts. Enjoy. And just so you know, this is all shot, recorded, interviewed by me. Enjoy, everyone. It's all about highlighting these owners and sharing the love that they bring us with their retro stores. Here we go.
My name's Dominic Cirilli. I was born in Winthrop, 1956. There's 2 streets in and out of this town, and that's it. So if one of the streets floods, you've got one way in and out of the town. The big draw to this town is the town is almost completely encircled by water, except for those 2 streets. So no matter where you go in Winthrop, you can't walk 15 minutes in any direction and not hit the ocean. I played a lot of ice hockey growing up. In 1985, I had a major back surgery, and it was the L5S1 discs in my back, and there's a scar like 8 inches long on my back right now. And when I was laying in bed recovering, he barely moved. And my mother-in-law at the time brought me over the Atari 2600. I was not into video games. I don't even think I knew what they were. I was working in the car business. I wasn't into that kind of thing. But she said, this is a video game system. They hooked it up to the TV. It was a black and white TV too. In my bedroom, a black and white TV in 1985. And they put Pong in and handed me the controller. And I'm still blown away. I can still remember what I thought, my jaw's on the ground. And I'm like, but it was unbelievable to me that I controlled this thing up and down from 10 feet away. And it's like, that's what got me hooked on the video games. And I spent 32 years of my life in the car business. If I didn't get fired, I would not be talking to you right now. And I remember one day I saw this store and it had an empty window. And I looked inside and I'm like, I'm gonna open a video game store here. So I came up one morning and I looked in the window and I pictured putting a display out there. And I'm like, I'm gonna do this. So I went home, I called my sister. We were gonna go walking in Deer Island, which is a place in Winthrop. And I said, I think I'm gonna open a video game store in Winthrop. And she said, before you tell me the whole story, I want to tell you your favorite Clint Eastwood movie's on tonight. And I'm like, what movie's that? She goes, Sudden Impact. And I'm like, that's the name of the store.
Good morning, Horace. Sweet Sister Sadie. Where the hell did you get that?
I've had it a while. I just thought I'd get used to it.
Great movie, by the
And
way.
I named the store on the very first day that out of like the clear blue, just out of that. I wasn't even thinking of a name. If she never did that, I never would have come up with Sudden Impact. That would have been like thousands of options down the road, I think.
Go ahead. Make my day.
I get people that come in here, they came in here the first week I was open that are still regular customers. And every single day, my customers are from Winthrop and everywhere in the world. I get developers from Japan. I get the developers from Rockstar Games. I don't have an online store either.
Yeah.
I never did. I don't buy online unless it's something brand new. Everything I get, people bring me in trade, everything. Even those guns. I took one of these.
This is cool.
This was the first thing, one of the first things I ever took in trade. The person came on a pouring, raining day from Dorchester, Mass, which is right outside of Boston, with this right by the Winthrop police station, carrying it with no bag or anything. But then I'm like, these are kind of cool. So I bought one for each every year they came out. They're all Gears of War guns. Like, that's the crazy taxi one. You had to win that in one of the games. But that one is from like...
This is cool. It's a crazy... And by the way, shout out to Fireborn Duchess. Thank you so much for the follow. It's so good to see you at the CafeBTW. But check this out. He has a crazy taxi Gears of War gun. This is so cool. I'll let him keep talking.
Like the Gears of War 2. Each series had a specific gun. Like some of them had the blades on the front without the chainsaw, and then they hit the chainsaw. There's a gold one here that's worth a fortune. I think it's this one. Or the other gold one down there. The main thing I've heard in 15 years is when people open that door and the music's playing and they see all the lights, is the first thing out of almost everybody's mouth is, oh my God. And it immediately takes them back to 1985. My main competitor is not any other stores. It's the internet. That's my main competitor. Because when they pick up their phone, they're looking either at a price dot or whatever the hell those price charting places are. But I've been lucky. God blessed me with this store because I'm an artist and I stand here and make my own cards. You can see there's hundreds of them here that I drew myself. I sell for $5 each. My whole success in this store and the business is the customers and the loyalty. Like, you can just go online and read some of the reviews, and I'm reading them and I'm like, they blow me away, the reviews. It's unbelievable.
Well, you're a great guy. I can tell just from
Thanks.
reading you for 5 minutes. So
Give me $20.
So that, and thanks, Fireborn. It's so good to see you in chat, and welcome to the CafeBTW podcast. So yes, I hope you guys and gals liked that style. That's kind of like my style of filmmaking. I really love docu-style, so I'm going to be doing some more long-form content by featuring retro stores in this light. Dominic was an incredible person. 70-year-old man that owns a retro store outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Dedicated guy, 15 years as an owner. And, you know, I live in the SoCal, Southern California area. So whenever I get a chance to get out of here and go check out another retro store and feature them, that is what it's all about. And as you know, if you follow a lot of my TikToks or a lot of my content, I do a lot of that where I visit these stores, but those videos last about a minute. So I'd like to do more of this. And it really gets me not only motivated to feature people in the community in retro gaming, but also for me, you know, I went to film school. I wanted to be a filmmaker, and one of my favorite style of film is documentary filmmaking. So if I could do something personally that also brings joy to myself as a filmmaker and an editor, then I'm going to do more of this stuff. And that's what this whole channel on my YouTube. So if you want to check out my YouTube, help support us, please give me a follow, a sub in chat. There's going to be more of that kind of content coming. And I'm so excited. And I know this wasn't the topic at hand today. We're going to get there. And when I was at the store, Dominic had this, and this is what I picked up. I got a Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. But what's really unique about this box is it's a huge NES box, and Konami, believe it or not, they didn't develop Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, but they helped publish it. So believe it or not, this thick NES box is what I picked up at Dominic's shop. But what's really cool about this, you know, this is an educational game. And what's really neat is that in this box, when they sold this game, they gave you a desk encyclopedia. And remember, internet wasn't really a thing back then, or maybe it wasn't at all. So really cool that they gave kids their own encyclopedia in order to kind of look up answers and try to get some questions answered within the game itself. Really educational and really a cool pickup. And there's the NES card. And Dominic gave me like an awesome deal on it. And really, if you want to check out Dominic, give him some support. His Instagram is in chat. The store is called Sudden Impact. And I'm really thanks for letting me share that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Means a lot to me. But most importantly, let's do what we do every week. And before we get into the main topic, let's talk about some news. All right. You know, it wasn't that crazy of Fireborn says, bruh, I remember watching Carmen Sandiego's shows. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? The shows were amazing. First topic is this ridiculous nonsense of this like back and forth of this Microsoft Activision deal that's just been kind of like trying to go through, I think $68.7 billion acquisition where Microsoft would end up owning all of Activision's IPs and stuff like that, which is just getting ridiculous. But what happened is the UK denied the activation to go through, or whatever you want to call this, a merger and whatnot. And now Microsoft is appealing it. But you know what? I could care less about them. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of that whole story. We've talked about it a lot. A fun little note is McDonald's released in China a McNugget Tetris, like kind of like a Tiger handheld. And I want to say how cool this is. Really interesting that it's only in China that this thing is coming out, but it's really neat. It comes with stickers, and I think it's included in a Happy Meal. But it's so cool because it's like shaped like a nugget. And who doesn't like McDonald's chicken nuggets? If they are even nuggets, I don't know. Like, what's the ruling on that? Are they really made of chicken? I don't know. They're delicious though. But I think it's really cute. It's kind of interesting though that it's exclusive to China though, and not available in the U.S. of yet. I'm a little surprised there, but that's as you see here, there's not a lot of great news. There are some big news releases. Diablo 4 is coming out. I think if you buy the digital edition, like $89 version, you could play it right now this weekend. I grew up playing Diablo series games. I will probably end up buying this. That said, hearing really good things about it. And if you like Diablo, so worth noting. Street Fighter 6 came out, and I'm hearing great things about Street Fighter 6. Now, I'm not a fighting game person, but I thought it was really interesting. Saw that Street Fighter 6 has smashed its all-time record of congruent players on every Street Fighter. So they have peaked already at the highest amount of players playing the game at one single moment. 64,000 players played it at a single moment. And you know what? I mean, you see the other comparative games here. Mortal Kombat had 35,000, but I don't think, to me, that doesn't seem that impressive. Or maybe you got people like XQC on Twitch averaging like this many viewers. So is this really an achievement? I don't know. Well, anyway, if you like Street Fighter, I'm hearing really good things about it. Another thing to note that I'm really excited about is Final Fantasy 16 is coming out. Now, I am not at all a Final Fantasy I'm not like a obsessive Final Fantasy player. To be honest with you, I played Final Fantasy 1 through 3, and then I kind of stopped playing it till 7, and then after 7, I didn't play it again till actually, and I'm serious, I didn't play until Final Fantasy 7. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy 15 came out. I took this like large break. I wasn't really playing Final Fantasy games, and then I rejoined the franchise in 15, and I actually loved Final Fantasy 15. I was enjoying Final Fantasy 15. So just so you know, I believe the end of this month, which I'm super stoked, I'm going to get Final Fantasy 16. Looks really fantastic. Who knows if people are going to like it. I mean, I've seen articles about mixed feelings about this one, but I'm sure it's going to be just fine. If they do the fighting mechanics they had in 15, I'm going to be just fine. So, not sure if you're a big Final Fantasy fan, but worth noting. Now, something personal I'm doing at the end of the month is I'm going to the Hollywood Bowl, and Jeff Keighley, who runs the Game Awards, he's putting on a special musical event with the LA Philharmonic. So the LA Philharmonic's going to be doing all these amazing orchestra, like an orchestra. If you know what the Hollywood Bowl is, it's this outdoor amphitheater in LA. It's iconic. They do these awesome outdoor concerts, and they're going to be doing a video game themed music. So we got Arcane, music from Diablo, music from Elden Ring, music from Final Fantasy, music from God of War, music from Hades, music from Hogwarts Legacy, League of Legends, Marvel Spider-Man, the new Starfield, which hasn't even come out yet. They're going to play music from it. Star Wars Jedi, and The Last of Us. So that is pretty cool. Yes, Daniel, Jeff is sort of my best friend. To be honest with you, he doesn't really answer my emails anymore, but I used to work for him. But just going to note, I'm excited about this. I got tickets. I'm going to the Hollywood Bowl. Going to be really cool. I've never seen the LA Philharmonic, which is a really fantastic Philharmonic here in LA. And the fact that they're going to be playing all this beautiful video game music is going to be killer. Daniel says, I once saw Dave Grohl drum at the Hollywood Bowl, but the crazy thing was it was for a screening of Grease. That's really cool. And hey, Ryan, what's up? AA says, I liked Final Fantasy 15, but it might be my modern favorite Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy 7. I don't own a PS5, so no plans to play 16 until it stops exclusives. Yeah, so I'll let you guys know. I'll probably take some video at this concert. It's going to be at the end of the month in June 25th, but I think it's really neat. And I love music. I mean, who doesn't love video game music, right? So that said, let's get at the topic at hand today. Let's get into it. And look, this is a little bit going to be a little bit different, because I'm not sure how long I could talk about this, but look, let's talk about it. So obviously, this is our 108th episode of Cafe BTW Gaming Morning Podcast. The topic today is unveiling the magic, exploring the history and excitement of midnight releases. So what the hell am I talking about? Because a lot of modern gamers might not even know what I'm talking about. But midnight releases, as you see in the photos, is when a game would be released and the night before, the video game stores could legally sell the game at midnight, because when you hit midnight, it's the next day. That's the release day. And this is before a lot of the digital, releases started coming out where you could just buy the game right when it releases. But you would wait online. People would camp out, wait online for hours to get the new games, right? And I love this post on Reddit that says, the kids today will never know what midnight releases were like. Now, we live in this modern era of gaming, right? Where instant gratification is highly represented in purchasing of video games, because you don't have to go to GameStop anymore with your Switch, with your Steam Deck, with Steam on your PC, with your Xbox Series X or S, and then with your PS5. You could literally just go right to the shop and download it right directly to your game. But you know what? There was a time where we couldn't do that. And when you wanted that new release, you would go to the store the night before at the stroke of midnight, like in Cinderella, and you would get that game and you would hold it in your hand and you would rush home and play it till the 4 a.m. when the sun came out. But there was something so nostalgic about that. And it wasn't about going to buy the game. It was about the people that you would meet and you would talk to while you waited in line. Not a single midnight release did I not talk to someone. I would be online and there'd be someone in front of you, someone behind you, and you would bring up a conversational note, talk about, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Talk about why you want this game. Maybe it's a sequel and you talk about like the game before and what you're looking for in this game. There was one time I went to GameStop and they literally had a CRT running on someone's car. They were running like into the car adapter. They were playing Super Smash Brothers Melee on the GameCube, like sitting there on the line. We're talking about a CRT. And I was just like watching people have a tournament like right in front of me. And there were other people that I've been to midnight releases where they had a projector up, playing video games in line. People were eating food, giving out food. There was one midnight release where I actually won a game. They were doing a raffle for everyone waiting in line, and I won a $50 gift card. These are the type of things that I guess are kind of dying in a sense. And we'll get to why maybe they aren't completely dead, because midnight releases aren't dead. And I'm going to talk about that, as recent as Tears of the Kingdom. Excuse me. Nintendo had a nice midnight launch event, which kind of is reminiscent of all this. But midnight releases, and this is really funny. So this is an article I found that's pretty old. Let's see, 2013, that's still online, and all the images are broken. But it says, it's really funny. It's midnight releases, the do's and don'ts you'll need to know before you line up. So what's a do? Show up early. Of course, if you're going to go to a midnight release, you got to show up early. That's definitely a do. A don't go alone. I don't agree with that. I used to go to them alone, but that was the whole point, is like, even if you went alone, you'd talk to people, I don't agree with that one. Another do is prepare beforehand. Obviously, yes, bring snacks, bring drinks, make sure you're ready to go, bring gum, whatever. Another don't is to go. Like, there's people that say, don't even bother going. And that's it. That's all they did on this article. That is a very successful article. Wow. So I see some people in chat here. Awesome. Let me read some of these. Fireborn Dutch says, I remember we did this when Halo 3 came out. We had cases of Mountain Dew and a ton of snacks at the ready for when we go home with the game and our pre-order helmet, and then we were going to play it until we beat it or passed out. Spoiler, we passed out first. That's so good. Thanks for sharing that, Fire. It's Virtually Podcaster. Daniel says, at my age, a midnight release is what happens after I go out for a night of eating wings, nachos, and like 7 beers. My daughter has emergency Febreze. Retro Game Brew says, I only did it once. For Halo 2 before smartphones. So we played hacky sack and my buddy hosted Halo trivia with people in line. Finally got to the game and went back to my friend's house to play it with 8 other buddies. What a truly epic introduction to that game. And I still love it today because of that experience. Those are exact examples of people's experiences. And Retro Game Brews, I can tell you, I had a great experience at a Halo 2 launch event, and I'll get to that. But Halo 2 is one of probably the most notable, popular midnight releases of all time. So really cool that you were hacky sacking and enjoying it. That this stuff just brings joy to my face, just talking about this stuff. Now, what's really cool is on YouTube, there's all these awesome like captivating videos about launch events. So here's a little clip from when G4, Kevin Pereira, they would usually do like broadcasts and interview people online. This is Halo 2 launch, which Retro Gamers just talked about at Toys R Us Times Square. Here's Kevin Pereira talking a little bit about it.
That's one of the most anticipated console video games of all time. I'm going to step aside and let these guys tell you what it is. This moment has been eagerly awaited by millions of gamers around the world. We're about an hour away here in Times Square at the Toys R Us. It is mayhem. It's freezing outside.
Look at that. A perfect way to describe visually what's going on. And yes, actually, Daniel, at the end of the show, we're going to talk about that because Tears of the Kingdom did do sort of midnight releases. So we'll talk about that.
And yet there's hundreds of the Halo Nation out there.
But to anyone that's watching live or on VOD and you don't know anything about these midnight releases, hopefully this episode will open your eyes to this kind of culture.
Very, very exciting.
I thought about like nothing but this thing for like last 4 months. It's like episode 1 type of anticipation for me. I'm like so pumped.
Dual wielding 2 weapons at the same time, baby. Yeah, we got many different combinations with the weapons.
Look how excited these kids are.
I thought like a 4-hour flight was pretty long coming from Los Angeles, but where did you ladies?
12 hours.
12-hour flight from where?
From Israel.
I love you. I want to play it at midnight tonight. If they get cab, I'm playing that whole day.
And Halo 2 was absolutely, like I said, one of the biggest influential midnight releases of all time.
3 hours of sleep today.
There was so much anticipation for this game. Remember, Halo came out for Xbox and it turned out to be like such a phenomenal game. So when Halo 2 was getting ready to launch, we were all stoked. I remember I was in Florida and I see Fireborn said she wasn't old enough, but I was in South Florida at the time, living in South Florida, and I went to a GameStop that was in a mall. So they actually opened the side entrance of the mall so that people can go in, wait in line. So we were all waiting in line, and the GameStop guy came out and gave everyone a sheet of paper, and it had a number on it. So you were given your number, and you had to make sure that you had a pre-order, and it was just like one by one, and you'd be waiting in line. And I still remember people would be coming out screaming like, I got it, like holding it up. And it's like, these are the type of memories that you just don't, that vibe that I don't think people are going to experience anymore. You know, you don't really, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about remembering all the people coming out of the store, getting the game, screaming at the line, telling everyone how excited they were, and me getting even more excited because I'm like, damn, I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. Here's another video to give you some more culture on this Halo 2 release.
The box office. Biggest retail launch in entertainment history.
Dozens of grown men and probably about 3 women have crawled out of their parents' basements tonight to be first in line to buy the new video game Halo 2.
Video gamers across the country are anxiously awaiting the midnight release of a game called Halo 2.
45 minutes and counting for Halo 2 to go on sale.
The line right now is probably about 100 yards long.
It is the most anticipated game in entertainment history.
Retro Game Brew says we were at the front of the line as we were walking out. A 13-year-old, let me play this in the background. A 13-year-old kid must have indulged too much on soda and Cheetos. As we were making our way to our car, people started running out yelling. Apparently the kid upchucked in the store. Man, now that is a memory. See, that's the kind of stuff that's got to happen at these things. People get sick because they're eating all that junk food before they get into the store. That's hilarious, Ryan. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, suck it! Suck it! Where's your alien plasma rifle now? Oh! No?
That Halo 2 was going to land, I think it was just a kind of magical moment.
Always one of the most eagerly...
Wow. What a perfect game to talk about, because I mean, I wish I can go back in time and experience that. So let's look at some other awesome archival footage that is on YouTube of other Midnight releases. So this is the PlayStation 3 Midnight release. And shout out to Game Daily. This is their video on YouTube.
I've been here since Tuesday.
I've been waiting on it for 2 days. Wednesday at 3:30 p.m.
We're all right here, man, and just having a good time, trying to make the best out of it. We're tired.
Let's note the time. The time frame. He's got a Bluetooth. He's got the old Bluetooth headset in there. I love it.
We're
look at that thing.
Just eager to get home and play our PlayStations.
Yeah, it's been really crazy. There's a lot of crazy people out here and stuff like acting crazy.
I love this stuff, man.
Craziest thing. A guy dressed up as a PlayStation 2 and another guy dressed up as a PlayStation 3 having a little fight on the sidewalk.
Well, not crazy, just annoying. Just how people sell their spots to other people. If people just walk up and say like, "Hey, you want to pay like $50 to even $400?" I heard for my spot in line.
Whoa.
PlayStation 3 is out tonight, midnight by 12:45.
So he was saying by 12:45, meaning like he'd probably wait in line, buy the game, drive home, and by 45 minutes later he'll be able to play. This is the stuff that Gen Zers will never do. Like, I mean, look, I'm sorry, that's not true. We're gonna get to something why I think midnight releases may not be going away completely, but this kind of like idea where this is before you like really were downloading games. Like you really thought about going in and physically holding these things in your hand. I would have sold my spot. He would have sold the spot, everybody. Here's a really cool one. This is from the UK. This is back in the day, I was a huge World of Warcraft fan, and the first expansion, the Burning Crusades, came out, and here's a little look at how that midnight release went. Also, shout out to On Demand for this video.
This is the first time that we're doing a midnight opening in Europe.
It brings people together from all over Europe.
I've been standing here for like 11 hours now, and he's been standing here for like 13, 14 hours.
This guy's been standing in line for 13 hours in this getup. Amazing. Ryan says, there used to be a meme where people would be the first in line to buy a new console and take it outside and smash it. Never understood that, even if I was a millionaire. You know, Ryan, actually, what's interesting is back in the day when like consoles were becoming like new generations, I remember they would like, when like the Xbox 360 came out, there were videos of people smashing the original Xbox. I remember that was like a thing. And now we don't want to smash anything. You want to hold on to all that stuff. So the smashing thing was not a good idea.
I'm in it for role playing, for all the fun of a lot of different kind of persons, you know. She has to help me all the time because she knows a lot more than I do.
Oh, so amazing that people were actually like dressing up in cosplay for this. This is freaking awesome. Yeah, the smashing stuff was so silly. So that's World of Warcraft. Let's take a look at another. So here's a news report, and this is cool. There were a lot of these, like, and I do a lot of these videos on my TikTok, but let's show you like a news report video about a midnight release.
In high definition, this is KCAL9 News at 10.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rick Chambers.
And I'm Pat Harvey.
By the way, Rick Chambers and these two are still on KCAL, by the way.
It's the biggest,
Yo, what's up?
fastest game on four
DMC with the
wheels,
5
and it's about
biddies.
to race off store shelves. Grand Theft Auto 4 goes on sale at midnight, and
Also was at this midnight release for Grand Theft Auto 4. I was so excited.
fans are revved up and ready to buy. KKL9's Rich DeMuro is live in West Hollywood, where gamers are gearing up to get it. Rich.
That's so funny, Ryan. Ryan, good call. They were bragging about being high definition news back then.
In fact, I got my hands on a copy. Don't tell anyone, Pat. But where I'm standing, I can see two lines form for this hotly anticipated game. One behind me at GameStop, the other here at Best Buy. Both stores are opening their doors at midnight to fans who have seen little of this game except for a few official trailers and some billboards.
And it's about 6 o'clock and staying out here until the doors open at midnight.
Fans have been waiting years for the latest installment of Grand Theft Auto.
This is bigger than the opening of a big blockbuster movie.
Morgan Webb.
No one knows better than Morgan Webb, host of GeForce X-Play.
They usually put up a little bit more of a fight.
She gave me a look at the new game
Dwayne has a potty mouth.
and a chance to play.
Basically, it's a rags to riches story. You're trying to make your way in America.
Action takes place in the fictional Liberty City. There's no doubt that this is New York City. Players
Than you'd find in an R-rated movie.
multiplayer maybe is expected to sell nearly 9 million copies in the next few days at $60 a pop. That's a lot of cash. Live in West Hollywood, Rich DeMuro.
I mean, you could tell it's the 2000s. So, hey, by the way, since we're on the topic of Grand Theft Auto 4, let's give Nico Bellic his due as one of my favorite video game protagonists. Okay, Nico Bellic, I can comfortably say, is one of my favorite. I mean, he's not really a protagonist because he does bad things, but you know what I mean. He's the man. All right. Shout out to Nico Bellic. All right. This guy deserves his own movie. We need a live action Nico Bellic movie. All right. All right. So here's another. This is from JSTU. This is a video of them from 9 years ago going to the Grand Theft Auto 5 midnight release. So let's take a look at this video.
Heaven Airline.
I'll skip through it actually. So you could see that it's shot terribly, but this is what people used to do. They used to take videos on their crappy cameras as they wait in line and do silly things. I guess they're in Target, it looks like, and they're just like searching around the store before they go in to actually do the pre-order. But this is kind of like the kind of videos you saw 9 years ago. Wow, 2013. Jeez. And people are still playing Grand Theft Auto 5, which is crazy to me. DMC says GTA 4 sold 25 million copies, by the way. That's amazing. Retro Grimmer says surprised. Oh, yeah, I read that already. So these are kind of fun videos. Obviously, they're just sharing their love. And he opened up the game. He's kind of showing through, like, and now they're going home to play it. You know, that is exactly from telling you that they're going, getting in the car. That was a good midnight release, too. Here's another one. This is for the midnight release by Pete Dorr, the Nintendo 3DS midnight launch event. Let's take a look at this.
25 people get some exclusives. The line now stretches all the way down there. Can't see with the glare.
We got the promo thing running up on the screens now.
So as you can see, they're actually in Manhattan for the 3DS release, and they're just camping out for hours. And this is like true fashion. So let's get to the release. Looks like they were there all day. You got Reggie Defame or whatever, however I pronounce his last name. I'm butchering it. He was there at the actual launch event, which is cool. That's another thing. Some launch events had developers and publishers and the actual Nintendo. I mean, Reggie's a legend. So, you know, to have Reggie there at a midnight release. And look, they had a countdown. They don't do this stuff anymore. They don't have countdowns. They're just like, here, buy it digitally. Look, they got confetti is falling from the top. Like they won the Super Bowl. That's so cool. I miss stuff on YouTube so much. This is not the kind of stuff the algorithm shows viewers as much anymore. No. And dude, just take a look. You know, I would just search midnight releases on there, and these I watch these videos a lot. All right, let's keep going down here. So this is Black Ops 2 midnight release from, let me give them credit. Mad Guardian Gaming shot this 10 years ago on YouTube, okay? 10 years ago. And this is some more footage. Obviously, people waiting in line. Really, this goes to show you the time. The cameras weren't great back then, but still really cool to see all the Black Ops 2 release stuff. The people are at GameStop. This was exciting, folks. This is just fun stuff. Like getting home, opening it. Let's keep jumping around here. This is a cool one. This is actually the Japanese PlayStation 2 launch. Let's watch a little bit of this. So in Japan, not just in America. Really cool. Now they're going in. They're bowing to people. That is so awesome. I wish they bowed to me at midnight releases. Wow, this is so cool. Also, the PS2 was a great midnight release. Like, that was fun. I remember waiting in line for that. That was big time. That was a big time release, man. Look at that. Oh, this is awesome. Throwing it in the bags. These guys are awesome. Damn, take me back. Ryan says, it's funny how different midnight releases were than Black Friday shopping. I've seen fights and obnoxious drunks at Black Friday, but video game releases were mostly celebratory video game culture and even made a few friends from it. Yeah, that's the whole point, is that it was more of a community cultural thing, It's definitely not like Black Friday. I mean, look, I'm sure there were some fights at some midnight releases, but for the most part, camaraderie, excitement, really just feeling the love of it all. That's really what matters. So let's see another one. This is the Xbox 360 midnight launch. Shout out to James Steele for his video and experience at the Xbox 360 release. I remember I was at the same GameStop. I bought Halo 2 for midnight release. I also got my 360 there. So it was the same idea. They let you into the side of the mall and stuff like that. So this is a 360. Let's keep moving. Here's the Wii launch. So, people were also waiting in line at Target for the Wii. Here's another one. Obviously, the Wii went on to being one of the most sold consoles ever. People were so stoked to get home and play Wii Sports. I'll tell you, a lot of people playing Wii Sports. This guy's showing that. Target people letting people in. Fantastic culture stuff, man. People getting excited. Damn, this is so cool. Take me back, please. Here's another one. We got the PS4, which, PS4 came out. This is a video from 9 years ago. AFP agency. This is actually Japanese video of their release. Let's watch a little. This is awesome. They're counting down. Yeah. So cool. Look at that image right there. That says it all. Look at that. Ryan says the Wii U midnight launch must have been lonely. Actually, I was there. I did a ton of midnight releases. I was notorious for needing to buy the console at a midnight release. Wii U was actually, from what I remember, there was a line. But I don't think it ended up selling much after that. DMC says my Best Buy didn't even do one. What? God, what disrespect to the Wii U. All right, a couple more here. Here's another PlayStation 4 midnight release. This is from GameSpot, actually.
On your own?
Oh, no, my friends met up with me. Yeah.
And they're all gone home now?
Yeah, they took off. They didn't want to wait till midnight.
So you've gotten it tonight. You're getting it tonight, rather.
Yeah.
Are you actually going to stay up and play tonight?
Oh, I'm going to bed. I'm taking tomorrow off from work. I'm going to play all day tomorrow.
Oh, really?
It'll be great, yeah.
You just on
That's another thing. Some people would be smart enough to take off the next day at work so you could just play all day long. I mean, I called out sick a couple of times.
to wake up next to.
Get up at 5 in the morning and go here.
All right, more power to you. Enjoy the rest of your queuing. Not too much longer now. We're still only halfway down the line, I think, at this stage. Single player and a multiplayer.
I'm gonna do a little both.
You're gonna go online and kill some fools?
Yes, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go murk some people.
Yeah, once they get their PlayStation 4s, you're gonna have to wait a while.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you go home, man. Congratulations. Go home and have a great time, all right?
Go Team Toaster.
Go Team. Way to go, 5.
Cheers, mate.
Well, wait. Where are you from, my friend?
From Sydney, Australia, but here these days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what about all your friends back home in Oz who aren't getting this for a couple of talk to? Have only been getting 1 or 2 games.
So awesome.
I guess lots of them.
I mean, I'm getting goosebumps from all this stuff. Here is okay. So, did the Switch 6 years ago have a midnight release? They sure did. So I was at the Switch midnight release, and now we're getting closer and closer to modern days, right? And there's still a remnants of midnight releases. So what I want to talk about is recently, I have not noticed a lot of midnight releases, but when Tears of the Kingdom came out, they did the midnight launch at GameStops, and here it was. Folks, this is 3 weeks ago, and people were doing what we used to see all the time. So someone had asked me, and I think it was Daniel from Virtually Podcast, are they still doing these? Well, as recently as Tears of the Kingdom, technically they did. So a lot of GameStops across the country, people waiting in line for Tears of the Kingdom. And why I bring this up is because I think this is one of the few times recently that things started to feel like they used to feel. Like, even though we're downloading digital games, really cool that Nintendo made it like a really big deal to say, hey, let's get these retailers to do midnight launches. Let's get this thing out there. And I love this. And there was a bunch of content around this like it used to be. Like, we had this huge gap of like no midnight releases, and now as recently as 3 weeks ago, Tears of the Kingdom. And here's a shot of the head of Nintendo handing out the first ever, and this is something they used to do.
It is Mr. Bowser himself.
So this kid, that's President Bowser, the head of Nintendo America, handing off the first copy of Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition. This is the nostalgia that we just talked about, but it happened just recently. So the question is, are midnight releases really dead? I think as far as we have digital to physical releases, I think if we have physical releases, brands like Nintendo might still do this.
You're going to be able to play Tears of the Kingdom right when you leave this first.
Doesn't he look a little like he almost looks like he almost doesn't give him the box right away? Watch. It's like he wasn't gonna let go. Really funny. My one buddy lived a mile away from college. I snuck into his house to play Halo 2 between classes, and he didn't find out until last year. Bucky's t-shirt, good call. Yeah, Bucky's is the famous Texan road stop that has clean bathrooms, apparently. DMC surprised it wasn't Triforce who got the first copy. And finally, on a Saturday morning, if you happen to see a question asked, it's a good chance it's about my podcast. So what I did is, as always, want to get what your thoughts are or memories of your games. I know a lot of people in chat gave me theirs, but this morning on Twitter, I said, let's reminisce about the excitement of waiting in line with fellow gamers at a midnight video game release. What game or console first comes to mind? Actually, one guy said, am I not a gamer for never doing this? And I said, you are as much a gamer as anyone, as this is not a prerequisite to be a gamer. Not at all. So they still call me Seventh said, I only ever did this once, and it was to pick up a collector's edition of Uncharted 3. Budget Nostalgia says Modern Warfare 2. Gaming Werewolf says Dreamcast. New Dad Gaming Podcast says never did it until recently, and with the kids on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So we just talked about that. That is awesome. Halo 2. Guinness Statch says, I remember waiting outside GameStop for the World of Warcraft Burning Crusade expansion, which we showed a video from. There was a line as long as the eyes could see. The first guy who came out with the game after they opened the doors had everybody cheering for him. That is exactly the feeling. Nick Gallagher, picking up my Dreamcast at Washington Square Mall, $99.99. Free pizza. Played the kiosk setup for us nerds. My mom was a saint for taking me there on a school night. That is so awesome. Hat Stack Mike says, the experience isn't completely a thing of the past. I just had this experience with Tears of the Kingdom. Perfect. That's exactly what we were talking about. Mighty KTV says Xbox 360. PTT7 says, I always think about the jerk that drove alongside the curb during one midnight release and blared his train horn, installed his Super Duty Ford F-150, whatever that buzzed the crowd. If that's funny. JP says, I never did, but my wife did get me the NES Classic for Christmas when it came out. Hentai Girl says, I was part of it and worked it. Good times. By the way, I just tweeted some info you might be interested in regarding a video game collectors on a show floor. Okay, self-promotion. PXG says, when I worked at GameStop, I organized our midnight releases for Gears of War 2. It was a lot of fun. The PS4 midnight release, my friend's store manager, rest in peace, rented an entire mobile gaming center on the bus. The local Hooters provided a ton of free food too. That's awesome. Looks like World of Warcraft here. Mr. Clip says, I Call of Duty, I was waiting in line with a DJ straight from work in a button-down shirt. A gang was in front of me. We were looking at each other. The DJ played Jump Around. We all bobbed our head in unison. That's amazing. Amos says, only did this once, camped out overnight nearly 3 spots away for the Wii launch. In 2000, when the PS2 launched, it was fun to walk past the line as I went in to grab Majora's Mask, released the same day. A couple more here. Charlton says, Halo series. I don't think I've ever seen lineups like I did for those games, especially like the first 3. Console-wise, I think the PS3. I remember the shortages when people would get info that a store wouldn't have a few. They would line up around a store at 12 a.m. just to get a chance. Halo 3, Madden. That's funny. God of War 3, PS3, Call of Duty, Mass Effect 2, Madden, GameCube, Sega Dreamcast, Halo 2, Halo 3, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and Dreamcast. Really awesome. Awesome. And thanks to everyone who gave me some awesome feedback here on their awesome experiences and midnight releases. Really appreciate that. And you know what? Wow. I didn't think we'd be able to talk this long about midnight releases, but boy, was I wrong. We're about closing out here with 3 minutes left in the hour. I want to say that I had a blast today talking about midnight releases. I hope you did too. This was really awesome because what's really interesting and what we discovered is, are midnight releases gone? Absolutely not. Technically, they're still alive according to Tears of the Kingdom midnight release. Will they continue? Will these publishers, developers, and stores think about, hey, maybe for the people that want to buy physical media still, and as long as they still exist, maybe we still do midnight releases. Now, will they ever captivate us as much as they did for like a Halo 2 release or before the digital age like they did? Probably not. But man, do I miss them. And one of the things, look, I'm a social butterfly. I love talking, meeting people. So I got to say that I hope they stay around as long as they can because they are one of the best parts of the gaming community. That said, again, everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode live with me. If you happen to be here on Twitch, and I want to say thank you to everyone on VOD. That's going to do it for this episode. As far as next week, I'm going to be in New York for a week. So unfortunately, we're going to have to miss an episode of CafeBTW because I will be in New York for some family stuff. And I will be back at the end of the month, but we do have a couple of guests coming on. So that said, I want to say farewell. Remember, we only get one shot at this. so you might as well be nice to people. I'm Andy. You can find me on socials on Twitter and Instagram at LoveRetroBTW, on YouTube and TikTok at CafeBTW. Remember, the podcast airs VODs on YouTube. Until then, I'm Andy, and this is CafeBTW, a gaming morning podcast. See you next time.